Hey there guys and gals, welcome back to Back Pocket Game Reviews. Today, we're going to talk about what it's like to fight addiction. So, a lot of you probably already know this, but I'm quitting smoking. Today, at 1 a.m., or tomorrow morning, if you want to word it that way, it'll be tonight for me, because I won't have gone to bed yet, so I refuse to call that tomorrow. But it'll have been 7 days. That is quite the milestone for me. So, and it's not my biggest milestone ever. I've actually quit smoking before. And we're gonna dive into a lot of this here, and it's pretty interesting. So, the last time I quit smoking for around 3 months. Went 3 whole months not smoking at all. And what happened was, me and my wife decided to do a joint bachelor and bachelorette party. My wife only has like a couple of friends, and I really only hang out with a handful of people. I keep a very small friend group. It's just easier for me. I don't really like to leave the house a lot and go do a lot of different things unless I'm typically with my family. I do have some great friends though that I do a lot of different things with, and it's not my social anxiety, it's just I for some reason I just don't like to leave. That could be that I work a lot. That might be a big part of that. So I quit smoking for 3 months, and at my bachelor party, this is after we went to play laser tag, after we went to the strip club, after we had been drinking throughout the whole day, and my buddy goes, "Do you want a cigarette?" So in my head, 3 months, I should be alright. Like, I'm not really, like, craving cigarettes at this point. I still want a cigarette. Like, don't kid yourself. That desire never goes away. But at 3 months, I figured I was alright to smoke. Wrong. Very wrong. I will probably never be able to smoke again. I won't be able to be a casual smoker. It's not like I'll be able to just have a social smoke. Like, hey, we're out at the bar, let me have this smoke. Unfortunately, nicotine is that one thing to me, and it's not just nicotine. With smoking, it is an entire package. It is the physical addiction of the act of the way you are smoking it. It is the feeling, so the way that it hits your throat. And even with all these different vapes that I have, and all of the perfect hits I'm trying to chase, to crave and calm this urge that I have to smoke, it's still not the same hit and the same nicotine fix that I get. Now, 7 days is a milestone. I usually don't make it past 4. I get to 4 a lot. I've quit smoking numerous times. Made it a little over 4 with Chantax, and then my moods got so the hell out of whack that I was like, alright, we just gotta quit the Chantax. No more Chantax. While you don't have urges to smoke with Chantax, you have other urges. We're not gonna dive too much into that, but I will just say this. I think there are depressants out there, like actual, like, hardcore drugs that affect your mood less than Chantax. Just forewarning anyone who tries to go that route. It does work. It has a very high ratio of cessation of people who use it. But I mean, I'm sure even those of you who follow me on Twitter probably saw, like, holy shit, Nick's going off the deep end. Like, I mean, it was just up and down and up. I was I'm in a glass cage of emotion. A lot of these things do help though. Nicotine gum never helped for me. I've tried Nicorette, I've tried the inhaler, tried the patch. By the way, they tell you never to smoke with the patch on. Yeah, I used to do that too. That's not something to be proud of. I'm just trying to make you understand what nicotine addiction is like. I have dreams right now about smoking. Yeah, that's fucking weird, right? Like, I literally am having dreams about wanting to smoke. I'm currently training at work, so I'll be like back there with my Juul like, hey buddy, because he smokes, so like I have to go let him out so he can go smoke. So we're the training store, so we're training him for another store, and I'm just like back there. Granted, I didn't smoke cigarettes, I smoked cigars, cheap cigars, but it doesn't mean I don't smell it and want to go, holy shit, can I have one of those? Luckily, I actually really dislike the smell of cigarettes. I know, like, how the hell do I love smoking so much? I've smoked for 16 years. 16 years. I am 31. I started smoking at 15. I started smoking after a really bad breakup. One of my friends was like, hey, do you want a cigarette? I was like, sure. God, that was a downhill slide. Let's say I've smoked Parliament full flavors. I'm only gonna name the ones that I was stuck with for a long time, like over a year. Parliament full flavors, Camel menthols, Newport 100s. Don't ever smoke Newports. You will literally start coughing up shit you can't identify. I'm pretty sure with all of the menthol I have in my lungs, I could probably cough you up, because they use fiberglass as part of that. I could probably cough you up the body to a Honda Civic, okay? If I tried hard enough, I could probably clear enough fiberglass out of my lungs for you to have a new car. That's insane. I smoked Camel menthol wides. I stayed with Camel menthol wides the longest. Those were always my favorite because they were like a wider gauge cigarettes that took longer to burn. I got more hits out of them, and it was a harsher hit. I'm all about that throat hit. I also, when smoking nicer cigars, inhale those. Most people don't do that, by the way. It's a very harsh hit, usually. I do. But I will never be able to smoke again. Ever. That's not a bad thing. I always said I would stop smoking by the time I had kids. My oldest son is 8. Or my oldest child. The other one's a daughter, so saying son makes no sense. But right now I'm in that process of chasing that perfect vape. Like today, before I go into work, I'm gonna stop over at a vape shop on my way into work and get some nicotine salt e-juice. Salts are a little different than like what I would vape in this, which is a freebase e-juice. They are more similar to the absorption and delivery method to a traditional cigarette, which is why Juul has been so helpful. However, Juul is an expensive little bastard. I got this guy at Speedway for $25, which it's usually $50, by the way, and this is for the starter kit. I got it for $25, but it has helped wean me off of smoking. So before we go too far into talking about how I'm quitting, let's take a small little segue here. So vaping comes under a lot of fire these days. While I do agree, if you do not smoke, you should not start vaping. I don't feel it that way. If you have no nicotine addiction, don't get one. Simple as that. If you've never had caffeine before, don't start now. Kind of the same concept. But here's the weird part. Right now you have the Truth campaign going after nicotine. While nicotine does have its problems, nicotine is actually not the problem with cigarettes. Nicotine is addictive, but as I just said, so is caffeine. So caffeine is widely accepted, nicotine isn't, because it's closely assimilated with your mind with smoking. But nicotine does about as much harm as caffeine does. So it's not too far off from it. It can cause an irregular heartbeat if you do a lot of nicotine. One of these is equivalent to 1 pack of cigarettes. He's gone now. One of those is equivalent to 1 pack of cigarettes, and I go through about one of those a day, so about the same as when I was smoking. I'm not trying to wean myself off of nicotine right now. I'm trying to get away from the cigarette. As I said, the cigarette isn't just the nicotine. The nicotine isn't the only thing that has you. It is the entire experience of smoking. It is the entire ritual. It is what my brain has associated with certain things. Like, I wake up, go smoke. I have sex, go smoke. I eat, go smoke. There are certain situations where after it, my brain is programmed to go, you need to go do this. That's what it feels like. Literally, my brain is constantly yelling at me, telling me to go do this. And that's not what I want to do. I do want to quit. I've wanted to quit for a while. And it's funny, it's like my wife will always be like, why don't you quit? I hate the way you smell. You smell like an ashtray. I told her that I was going to quit when she got pregnant the second time. And I didn't. I tried. And I don't, the hard part is like, she had no desire to smoke when she got pregnant both times. Like, she didn't go through withdrawal symptoms. I feel like my eyes want to pop out of my skull at certain points. And it gets added, like if stress gets added onto that, like if something is actually stressing me out on top of that, oh my god. There's this old cigarette commercial for Lucky Strikes. You probably never heard of Lucky Strikes. Lucky Strikes actually still exist to this day. They don't use filters on their cigarettes. They're like the old school cigarette. They're also like $13 a pack. One of my buddies used to smoke them. But they had a commercial that said, if you don't smoke Lucky Strike, she'll beat your wife. I'm paraphrasing. It did say you'll beat your wife, but like they had like a whole little skit thing to go with it. Like in like those 1920s, 1930s style. It was probably a little later than that. Probably like 40s or 50s. But it is, you can find the commercial on YouTube, by the way, if you do decide you want to go look for it. But if you don't smoke Lucky Strike, you'll beat your wife. I feel that way. I've never beaten my wife. I am just telling you, I don't think sometimes you understand what your brain is doing while trying to break this addiction. And I get it. A lot of you are like, you don't know what true addiction is. Everyone's brain perceives something differently, and they do tell you that nicotine's about as addictive as heroin. So that's extremely addictive, by the way. So, I've been using Juul. Juul comes under a lot of fire right now, because they're saying, oh, well, Juul targets kids, their marketing is colorful. Really, their marketing is pretty much non-existent. It's like little picture ads online. And that's about it. Like, they don't, I wouldn't say like they're going out and marketing to kids. And people be like, oh, well, they have fruity flavors. As an adult, I don't want to smoke something that tastes just like nicotine. Have some nicotine flavor. Have you ever chewed Nicorette gum? It tastes like asshole. I'm not kidding. I mean literal asshole. Sorry guys, if you're wondering why this video is so weird, it's literally I just have so much going on in my head due to it's withdrawal, okay? This is the face of withdrawal. Not the face of meth, this is the face of withdrawal. It is a very hard habit to kick. But I will tell you this, Juul does emulate it very closely. This isn't pitch for Juul. Again, if you don't smoke, don't go starting to vape. You don't need to do it. And then if you're not vaping with nicotine, I mean, I don't really see the point. It is what it is. So, I look at vaping as a way for me to at least get off of smoking. I get it, there are other components to work here. We kind of already talked about nicotine and how nicotine isn't really all that dangerous on its own. It's not really a big deal. Well then, there are other juice chemicals sometimes, like when we're talking about the flavoring, and there are juice companies that will use ingredients outside of these too. But usually you are looking at just two other chemicals, which is propylene glycol and vegetable glycol. We're going to break this down too for you real quickly. Propylene glycol sometimes comes under fire because it's an ingredient used in antifreeze. It's also an ingredient used in asthma inhalers. Yeah, so that whole antifreeze thing, That argument can be tossed out there. And I'm not saying there isn't possibly some kind of danger long-term here, but I'm pretty sure 2 chemicals is a lot less dangerous than me inhaling 10,000 chemicals in one single stick of death. So, and the other issue is it's not tobacco. Like, it's literally not even just the tobacco's fault. It's the companies that then are buying the tobacco and deciding, let us wash it in our signature death blend. And then you got Philip Morris over here like, oh, do you like our special death blend better than Camel's death blend? That's what it is. You are literally being sold a death blend. How does our death blend taste for you? Do you like our death blend? Would you recommend our death blend over other death blends? The other one is vegetable glycol, by the way, which is in these guys, or in my vape juice right here. That's where you see PGVG. So when you see 50-50 propylene glycol, vegetable glycol. The vegetable glycol is actually one of the main ingredients in almost every single food preservative on the market. Oh my god! So you're already ingesting these things. I get it, doesn't necessarily make them safe to vaporize and put in your lungs. It's really not safe to put anything in your lungs. But we as human beings have been doing this for centuries. Just like the Native Americans would smoke the peace pipe. Or is that the hippies? Did the hippies smoke the peace pipe? No, I'm pretty sure it was Native Americans. But almost every historical culture has had some kind of ceremony around smoking. So that should tell you where this lies in human culture. And finally, big tobacco. Not saying that they all smoked. Obviously, the Indians smoked weed. Okay, it wasn't tobacco. Indians were getting high as hell. So, big tobacco is really where a lot of the attention came from and why a lot of people are realizing that this is such a terrible industry because of where their marketing literally targeted. Like, oh my god, it is so shitty. Oh, we're gonna go after military people because they're stupid. They're low income and stupid. Like, that's the kind of shit that they did. They literally demographically stereotyped everyone. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there is some truth behind a lot of their studies, but it's really effed up. And then they tried to hide a lot of the truth. They're like, cigarettes help build strong bones. When in all reality, it's, hey, yeah, we're probably poisoning, like, you and everyone around you's lungs and causing all these kinds of terrible diseases like emphysema, cancer, what's that, what is the one my grandpa died from? I don't think it was that, did I say emphysema? Whatever. I don't remember all of them. There's a lot of different things you can die from, though. A lot of them are cancers, like mouth cancer, throat cancer, lung cancer. No, I mean, there's multiple different cancers you can get from smoking. It's just insane. Let alone the tar that builds up in your lungs, or how hard it is for me to breathe. Right now, I'm starting to be able to, I get winded sometimes just randomly right now while I'm quitting, which is usually this happens every time. But like, I'll go to lift something and it won't even be that heavy and like, I'll be pantsing afterwards. I'm like, the hell is wrong with me? And then I'll cough up like some nasty shit like a month from now and I'll be fine. I'll be able to breathe again. Your lungs eventually repair themselves. Not all the damage can be undone, but a lot of it can. Obviously, as a 16-year smoker, a lot of my damage isn't going to be undone, but I'm buying myself a little bit longer where I will be able to see my children grow up and hopefully be around for at least the day that they get married and have kids. That's a goal. That's something that's a big reason to why I quit. Almost the #1 reason. The other reason is my wife doesn't like to kiss me after I smoke and she tells me I smell like an ashtray. Yeah, that's a bit annoying. It is what it is. So, I think it's funny though, because like every time I talk about vaping, people are like, "Oh my God, that's so irresponsible of you to talk about vaping. You have young audience." I don't actually have a young audience. My average audience age is 16 and up. I mean, 18 to 32 or 35 are my largest categories. Now, it's also assuming that people don't lie about their age on YouTube, but if Jake and Logan Paul can tell you what their stereotypical age is below that, I'm pretty sure that that's actually relatively accurate. So, I don't really have that many younger people. And I actually have stated numerous times that if you don't smoke, you probably shouldn't start vaping. Because literally, this is a cessation device to me. I've even called them cessation devices on my channel. Now, granted, these are I'm going to use them even after. I bought another one of these pod systems today. It got really good reviews and is made by Vaporesso, who makes my like big mod, and I like my big mod, so we're getting one of those, and we're getting some nicotine salts, so I don't have to keep buying Juul pods. But guys, thank you for watching this. Thank you for hearing me out and letting me vent and rant about all of this and all of your support. I appreciate all of it. If you want to follow me anywhere else, everything's in the description. If you have questions for me or want to say anything, you can do so in the comments down below. And also, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. You can click the subscribe button, ding the bell. I'll let you know when I upload videos. And you should share this. Share this with a friend who smokes. Share this with a friend who maybe even vapes. Let them get an idea of what it's like to come away from all of it. Guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you all soon, and I'll have plenty more content coming for you.